gigantic, and you absolutely can eat them. It was like the best mango I'd ever had in my life. So I took the seed out of that one and planted. I planted three. One of them's in here, and one of them's in the yard. One of them the hurricane killed. But yeah, man, they are delicious. They're enormous. Some kind of Florida hybrid, they called it.
I wonder, so the mango, like, so sweet obviously is like a important thing, right? But I don't like mangoes that gets really stringy.
Yeah. So that was the little ones he has over there.
Those
The
are stringy,
there's a
right?
stringy, yeah. This one was not. It was like perfect. I could cut it with a knife and get a nice. I could make like a mango sandwich if I wanted.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Like, you know how like mangoes, like Asians, we get mangoes with like we want the Thai mangoes. And I wonder if they're really from Thai or they just took the Thai seed and grow it in Florida.
Hmm.
And
Could
then
be.
they call it Thai mangoes because technically it is Thai mango, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good
And
question.
then you can pass the tariff. You don't have to worry about tariff.
Tariffs on the mangoes. I do the jump rope, and the jump rope people are the coolest ones in all of social media that I've ever encountered. The jump rope community and Instagram is the coolest set of people. Most of the time after a few years, people start fighting, they hate each other, and there's drama. Jump rope on Instagram, no drama. Everybody's like cool. But there are a couple of them that are in Chicago, and they had a meetup last weekend. They were on the waterfront doing jump rope. Everybody was filming and then recording, and then a couple of people jumped into the lake. It was wild.
I wonder if they have some. I would love to join. Yeah, like connect me.
Yeah.
I have a
Probably.
jump rope. I
Jumping.
I, I know that too. Yeah, like jump rope. People always talk about jump rope. It's like, like if you're fighting, if you're a boxer, you got to be able to jump rope.
Yeah, that's why I started. Cause like when I was doing my shadow box workouts and everything, I was like, you got to jump rope. Like, and I used to have a lot of jump ropes when I would do it, and I would, mostly stick to the simple boxer stuff. Like there's a little
Yeah.
boxer skip, and every once in a while you can cross over, but it was like just rhythm, cardio. And then I felt so inadequate seeing all these people do all these cool jump rope moves because they started following me and I followed them back. And then I started slowly trying to add in more and more um, like little tricks. I don't do a lot of tricks, but little tricks. So yeah, follow me. Jump on some of the people because I told you this off camera, but I got arthritis in both my knees and the jogging aggravates it. So I have to go easy on slow runs like over a couple of miles. But I can jump rope almost every day. It's like this low intensity plyometric. It's also helped me jump higher. And when I run the sprints, I feel a lot more stable. It's really jumping rope is underrated as exercise.
And
So
you can you can learn fast. Like, because I saw there was a big difference in you when you first started. And then I haven't seen you show a lot of jump rope videos, but then all of a sudden you start showing jump rope videos again, and you look a lot better. I was like, oh damn, like I wonder. So how long would it take? Like, let's say if I train like twice a week, like 20 minutes.
I mean, you'll get better pretty fast. I think 20 minutes is a long time to jump rope. I usually try like 20 to 30 minutes is a like a workout for me. So if I do like on the days when I show a bunch of the shadow boxing or kicking and stuff, I'll start with 15 to 20 minutes of jump rope. And that's a good workout. So if you do that a couple of times a week, within a couple of months, you'll pick it up because I just did the most basic jump I could until like try to do 100 or try to do 50. And then I would try to do it for a minute. And then I would try to do it for 2 minutes without stopping. And I just got the rhythm and then the basic jump. And then I started moving my feet a little to do the like boxer steps side to side. And once you get the rhythm, It's pretty good. You pick it up pretty fast, but you get better. Like it's one of those things where at first I kept hitting my shoulders because I felt like I got these giant shoulders, and then I would try to run in place, and I would always trip. I'd catch my shoe, and that was because I was like when I'm running, I was had a you're like kind of stepping forward a little bit sometimes, but when I'm running in place, I gotta kick my butt with my heel. Otherwise, my shoe hits it. So it's just practice. You get it pretty fast.
Yeah, that's cool. Like you never think of that would fix arthritis.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fixed it, but it definitely makes it so I can do more cardio overall.
Mhm.
Like when I started working out a few years ago, it was crazy. I couldn't jump that good. Like jumping was hard. The reason why I knew I was put on weight, was out of shape, and I couldn't get up off the ground. Um, so it was like, this is a bad sign. Like if it's hard, if I had to use my hand to push myself off the ground, and when I went to jump, it kind of hurt when I landed a little bit. I was like, I don't think this is how it has to be when you get to be 50. It's just you have to work out different. So I don't do nearly as much weightlifting. I still do. I still go in and lift weights because it's like, I need to keep my muscles strong or whatever. So I forgot what we were talking about. But AI, right? So you've got a kindergartner, and I've got rising senior high school. Chat GPT is a menace. It is an absolute menace. I know we talked about it a little bit last time. You kind of liked it.
Mhm.
Um, there was a couple of use cases you had that helps you like phrase things in the right tone, you thought,
Mhm.
for different people, which English is not your first language, so I can see that. Um, but kids, there's two big concerns for me. Kids can cheat, and they are cheating, and it's rampant. Teachers can't catch it because it's too hard to prove. Like the detection things don't really work. Like you can't tell if somebody used Chat GPT or not. So I don't think I'm off
Yeah.
base on this. It annoys
I see-
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a point. Like as you were talking about this, right? Like I was thinking like do you see this as almost an equivalent of back then when we don't have computers and then we do these calculus and then we think like, oh, calculus is like the coolest thing because we can do this, right? And after we have computers, math is not as interesting to me compared to programming language or going to the internet and finding that. Like, do you see this as the equivalent of that where like Sandy's an accountant, right? My wife, Sandy, is an accountant. She is terrible at math. But you would think that an accountant would be good at math. She is horrible. Like she never knows how to add tip. Like basic, like, okay, what is 20% of this number? Nothing. Like she'll be like, oh, 40, but in terms of an accountant, she's like at the top of that industry.
Yeah. I see your point. I think we've always had tools. Tools help us do things like calculators and spreadsheets built in. Doing kind of math lets us offload some of our brain power, and we don't have to be good at doing that arithmetic in our head.
Mhm.
Calculus is probably a little different because to me, your brain is a muscle. So we were talking about working out, and I want to make sure my brain and my body are both exercised. Like they should be, I want them to be sharp as I get older. I want to keep my muscle, keep my fitness, keep my ability to run and jump. and my brain is not separate from me. It's like a biological part of me. So it benefits when I'm in shape, but there's mental exercises as well. And doing calculus by hand on paper is a form of mental exercise. So when I was in school, we had calculators way back in the day that would plot graphs and show you calculus and, what it looked like to differentiate things under a curve and,
You gotta learn that and then able to do physics, right? Because you without calculus, you cannot
you can't do right.
like
Exactly.
physics would just be a chat GPT story to be like, oh hey, like
Yeah,
something fell in your head.
because
Yeah.
I've got this crazy idea, right? I don't like AI for a lot of reasons, like, but for kids, I really think it's bad. And because you don't they don't learn. Like you have to learn it first. Like you have to exercise your muscle to learn it, and then you use the tools. Um,
Maybe knowing is more important than knowing. I mean, knowing is more important than learning in the future.
I don't maybe, but the other side of this is the chat GPT is always wrong. You just don't know how it's wrong. Like all
It's
of
not
it
always wrong.
it
Like
is.
sometimes it could be wrong, but and you need to know, okay, this looks wrong. Like you need to develop a skill for that, but it's not always wrong.
Well, it always hallucinates. It's by design. Like the under the hood, in order for the output to look like a person said it, they have to randomly mix things up. So you don't always get the next most likely statistically word. They fudge it and say, "Well, give me the second or the third most likely word." And with math, like that's a number. And if they fudge, if you say 2 plus 2 equals 5, well, that's because it's just it doesn't know anything about two or plus sign or equal sign. It just knows that in sentences, a lot of times 2 plus 2 equals is followed by a four. But if it messes up and decides it'll hallucinate the four, you get a five. And then it's wrong. But it always hallucinates. Like it's built into the design of the system. And so that this is an unsolvable problem for the AI world. They've really been dishonest about the whole thing, if you ask me. They way overhype the ability. But I don't even want to dig into that too much because that's another episode we'll talk about. I want to talk about why they're doing it and conspiracy theory planning. Because remember L. Ron Hubbard?
Who's that?
He wrote this book Dianetics.
Oh, the Scientology guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So he just sat around one night drinking, as it's told, multiple nights, and planned out how to come up with a religion.
Hey, good ideas come from drinking.
Well,
Don't you, there's plenty of good ideas that I had. It was us drinking, and I'm like, oh, we should do this. And then it turned out to be a good thing. So don't
well,
be knocking on drinking.
I'm not knocking on that one. I'm talking about planning a conspiracy because another one was this whole QAnon thing, right? Like the central thesis of the Q story was, and this started on 4chan. Like, 4chan is just sitting around one night, people are just chit-chatting and they're like, "Hey, I've got Q level clearance. I know something. There's a global conspiracy with the elitists out there who are kidnapping children and drinking their blood so they stay young forever." And then it evolved and it grew legs and it spread off of 4chan and went to 8chan. And then we had COVID years and people were online and they started believing this theory. And they put in 2020, they put current president in as like the savior of this Q theory, right? He was going to save us from this global elitist pedophilia ring. But it was an internet 4chan joke, right? And people just kept the joke up. So I'm interested in conspiracy theories planning how we can have a little fun um, coming up with our own around what are these AI dudes doing? Because to me, if you dug into it a little bit, you would know there's a massive economic bubble. It's not unlike housing. Remember when we were talking about housing bubble, but way back in the day? AI is a bubble, and I believe you can never predict when they're going to burst. Everybody's trying to make money. You've got all these competing interests, trying to make money off of AI now. It's grown so big that it's really unknowable how it ends. This is a conspiracy.
So I think about all this, like you talk about Scientology, AI, billionaires building stuff. I think it all based on the fundamental facts that by nature, human beings like to have an idea and then have other people like their idea, right? Just as you there's a jump rope community and I started a community and everyone likes my community because we all do jump ropes. So just like Scientology and just like AI, because AI fundamentally is someone has an idea, they're like, hey, if I do this, it will create something that's half-assed. You think this will be good? And everyone's like, oh yeah, sure, this is good. Now, the next step of having people liking your idea is that is there any money that can be made from this, right? If you have a community jump rope, can you make money out of it? If you have Scientology, you have this idea of this book, people start liking it, can you make money off it? So then you start thinking about, well, maybe making money is the next step forward. Then you start making money, and then you ask yourself, how much money can you make? Right? Can you make enough where then you can have a bunker in the middle of nowhere and just to do a bunker to be like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if the world ends and then I live in a bunker? Or wouldn't it be cool? I have so much money, I can buy a yacht. I can travel around the world and work just from the yacht. So you start, I mean, this is just a natural thing of how human beings are.
Right. So that's probably the truth, right? Like you just gave a this is the most likely explanation that we're just in a complex world where people are individually doing what makes sense for them. And it looks weird or odd to try to piece it together and come up with a story. But I want to build a conspiracy theory to come up with something like Q, like Scientology. Scientology was aliens. Aliens are overplayed. AI was Terminator. I don't really. I think the AI is a distraction. People are just trying to make money. I want to develop a conspiracy theory that lines up with our current situation because it's awkward. We could make some money off of a
Yeah.
good one. We could make it
But
a
so
movie.
if you do that, right, the very first thing is you cannot call your idea a conspiracy theory
Well,
because the founder of whatever that is have to believe in it. So you need we don't need to create a conspiracy theory. We need to create the truth. So for instance, you doing jump rope can cure arthritis. You need to you need to go into that.
yeah. So right, so that one would that's not big enough. Like, so we need a different word because
Yeah.
me saying jump rope cures arthritis is sort of like just bad information. It's
Oh no,
medical
can
misinformation.
but what if then by then you can make $1 billion off it? You could become the next um the liver king. You'll be the arthritis king.
Yeah. Well, Liver King level of conspiracy. That's right. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he
So you could
absolutely, I mean, he ran that thing into the ground. I don't know how he's still out there
yeah.
trying to play that one.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
so
okay, what's your idea?
here's
What's
my
your
idea.
idea? Yes.
They believe this is me talking conspiracy, right? They believe that the democracy is ending, the country is over, and they're up to something. I just don't know what. This is my conspiracy. They are paying to get a king elected for some reason. Maybe they think they can control the king. Maybe they think the whole country will collapse. And my biggest idea, this is the one that I think triggers the conspiracy because conspiracies need to be emotional. Like when we say it, there's got to be like, it's got to be simple enough to be emotional. Elitists are kidnapping kids and, putting them into sex slavery. Okay, that triggers an emotion. I believe global warming is a lot worse than they're letting on. And we're going to see the collapse of countries and democracies all over the world because of it. That's why these billionaires are building bunkers and they're taking all the money they and resources they can get and just accumulating them for themselves. They don't care that there's widespread inequality. They don't care that there's a lot of poor people because they know we're about to enter this dark age of mass world war and climate disaster. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, during COVID, right? I remember what it was like when resource was scarce. Like and there was a point in time when we didn't know when it's gonna end.
Mm.
I remember that one time I one of Sandy's friend needed toilet paper, and then luckily we just bought some toilet paper right before all this, not really thinking about
Yeah.
this. We drove to hand off 2 rolls of toilet papers, and we met in the parking lot, and she said, "Thank you. Here's some homemade soap I made." And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? Why are you giving me? You wanted toilet paper? Here, I'm giving it to you. But
What did it reciprocate with
she
something?
bartered with me
Yeah.
with homemade soap, and I'm like, damn, like this
End
is what's
times.
gonna be like when world's gonna end. Like, I'm gonna and and I don't remember the fear of, okay, how is this gonna get worse? I just kind of accepted it, and oh, you know. So if the world does, and I couldn't care less about some billionaire living in a bunker because I'm I'm about to like wipe my ass with that leaf you got in the back, like
Yeah. Well, it's not inconceivable that we see
yeah,
resource shortages pretty soon.
yeah,
Like within the next 10 years, if
yeah,
climate disasters are accelerating and we
yeah,
have problems with food and we have 8 billion people on the planet,
yeah,
that
I believe that. There could be something similar happening in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but
because we see these
like,
wars breaking out. Right now we've got a war breaking out in Europe. Already broke out. It's been going on for 2 years. So we've got, the kind of Russia Ukraine front. We've got Israel, Gaza, Palestine war. That's the Middle Eastern front. If China moves on Taiwan, we have a three front global war. And our country is collapsing our democracy right into this dictatorship so that we're able to, have one person make the call and move fast. That's lining up to be like something real bad is going to happen.
yeah, it could be that. And it could be something else that you didn't even expect, like
Like what?
who knows, like Wuhan is gonna fuck with something and then that shit is gonna
Another
come all
one.
the way here, like who knew that? We were planning on something else. We were fucking around. What was the topic before COVID came about? I think it was like I don't remember what it was, but it was something else and that completely disappeared.
Yeah, because the seed of our conspiracy theory needs to be some emotional trigger. And like it can be rooted in systemic inequality, it can be rooted in the fall of democracy, it can be rooted in, you know, there are these elites. So the Q story was there were elites. The Scientology story was, we're all aliens and, the best of us ascend to live with, the rest of the colony. But I don't like the science fiction conspiracies. I like the ones that are more like um, grounded in science and less fiction.
Yeah, like you don't you don't like the zombie apocalypse
Yeah, I don't.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I like watching those shows, but
Yeah.
I don't think zombies or aliens or werewolves or vampires or superheroes or genetic mutants, none of that addresses the crazy stuff happening now. Because right now, like the feeling I get is this stuff is crazy. Like we're firing people left and right, laying people off left and right out of tech companies to replace them with AI, and AI can't replace people. So that's odd. Like if you work with it long enough, even though it does have some uses, it's not going to replace people. They're spending an enormous amount of money to do it. They're building huge, huge data centers all over the globe. And these data centers steal water and electricity from the towns where they build them because they're huge resource hogs. Like they're running like 100,000 GPUs in these data centers, like taking clean water out of the town that they build it in. And it all seems to me like the center of this are United States tech companies that have accumulated so much money. They're above the government. Like Elon Musk is above any world government. He's not a citizen of any country. He's Elon Musk.
Has there ever been a time like this?
I mean, I kind of feel like it was the Gilded Age. Like this is what I used to think. It was sort of like the run up to the Great Depression, where we had robber barons, people who built out the railroads in the United
Mhm.
States, coal. Like we were building resources, moving into the industrial age. So 1890s to 1920s. Um, but I don't think that we ever saw a near collapse of democracy in favor of a king, and we definitely didn't have the robber barons, you know, above international law. Like I feel like Zuckerberg, these guys are Musk, Thiel, Bezos. They have so much money and they control so much wealth in addition to just the money. Like their companies are irreplaceable. They're too big to fail on an international scale. Like it's not just too big to fail like the banks. It's 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 the next version of a economic bubble that's global, and they know they're too big to fail. So they can just push technology that doesn't work if they want. There's no consequences for them. Just imagining, because things feel weird. This is the every good conspiracy has a kernel of truth, right? Like there's got to be something to it. So there is a kernel of truth that billionaires right now have a lot of influence over the government. There is a kernel of truth to the fact that our government is, changing underneath our feet. There's downsizing. So those are the kernels of truth. But there is a feeling that it's happening too easy. Like there's no fight back. There's just quiet acquiescence. And people could fight back. Like the billionaires could fight back. They don't have to roll over. They've chosen to roll over. Why?
It's
Conspiracy.
only
Conspiracy. Give me a conspiracy, Tim, man. Come on. Don't give me a reasonable answer. Give me
how can
conspiracy.
I don't know how to think how to think like that. I no, because whenever I read this stuff, I think about it myself, like, okay, like how can I think of something I don't believe in? I can't just
We're just
how can
imagining.
I
Pretend like we're coming up with a new video game, right? Like we are imagining the next Call of Duty or the next what's a game I used to like all the time? Uncharted. There's going to be a new video game. We're under development. you and I, it's going to be a dystopian future. And there's going to be a billionaire who has a big yacht, a billionaire who owns Twitter, a billionaire who owns like Facebook and has a compound in Hawaii. There's going to be this guy, Peter Thiel, who's like got everybody in the world under surveillance. You know, he's got access to government data and he's in top secret labs. And they've completely destroyed the US government and so that it can't fight back. And now they're this all-powerful cabal of billionaires, and they did it for a reason. And now we're the lowly band of survivors who understand what's going on. Like we get it. And most people are sheep, right? Like most people are NPCs in our video game. They're just going about their day, trying to, get some toilet paper. We figured it out. We're this band of survivors. We're gonna fight back in this video game. But there needs to be a plot.
Like a scenario.
Yeah, yeah, there's a plot here. That what caused this thing to happen this fast?
Like if AI gets so smart, like how how's where is that gonna be, right?
Yeah, right. That's one of the cases. Like I dismissed it earlier. I think my internet connection is the problem now. I dismissed it earlier, but it could be that the whole plot is really AI. Like like this LLM chat GPT thing was a diversion, and actually they figured out a different way to build an actual AI. Could be a comet, could be a meteor. It could be as simple as global climate change has reached a massive tipping point, but they haven't told the public about the data. And we're
You
not going to have
think?
enough food. Yeah.
So in order for that, so I was thinking, right? Like there could be like right now, like Mark Zuckerberg could be AI. Like he has the proprietary AI. But in order for that to work, Mark Zuckerberg has to be have to have the courage enough to do it without anyone knowing, unless they kill the tester. You know what I mean? Like let's say they created this crazy AI
The whole
and
test
this
team. Right. Yeah. They have
and then
people.
they're like, okay, we have to kill this AI and then put this AI, transfer that into Mark Zuckerberg because this is it. And then this AI just escaped.
Maybe all of the billionaires are actually AI.
No, they're not. They're not AI. They're like afraid of the AI because they know the AI is going to kill them.
Mm.
You know, because he created it because the AI wants to kill them and be a replacement of them.
Yeah, because they're the
So
most powerful
people who
people.
has the bunkers are the ones that hasn't been killed yet.
Hmm.
So who lives in a bunker? Like who's living openly without thinking about,
Have any of the top AI people gone missing recently?
see, because Jeff Bezos is on a yacht, right? Gave up half his money to be with another woman. This woman could be an AI
Hmm.
con controlling. Yeah, that could be it. Like, I don't think the billionaires are AI, but
Let me throw this out at you. Because so much of the conspiracies and like the thing that interests me a lot about doing this podcast is our information. It's important to get good information. We talked about this already. And most people get their information online. So when we publish this, don't believe what we're saying here. I'm just pretending like we're building a conspiracy theory to illustrate make an illustrative point. We're not really saying this for real, but we could,
hey,
and it would
but
catch on.
But the AI could cut that part and cut this part out and post
Suppose,
it on their account, and
right.
then we'll
Suppose
be
the
fucked.
AI already exists and is doing this on the internet. Maybe the AI is making all of the bad information show up in everybody's feed behind the scenes, like manipulating the entire planet to destroy itself.